ICE.
Drunk or not? Sober or drunk? Can we just fly to a Marriott like somewhere in Illinois?
Yes, that's the issue. Is Ross wants us to have so much fun he's going. Also, he has no children, so so he still has power in the house. He can go to that thing and think of some nice thing.
Right. I will say this. I always love the fact during Talking Shop, and I much respect and give you full credit that Chad was always the voice of reason during the shows that holds it together. Even when he's super drunk, he's never the drunkest in the room. Because it's either Gallows or Jared, but if Gallows is at
This man is a problem. Like where if I see him drinking, it makes me want to drink more, and I think it's kind of a thing for him. Like every time we're like, oh, let's try to go. Like that's the party starting. It's still seeing like the race to go. We can do it next. Australia, China rock, it's like it's bigger than us. It's bigger than his torso, guys. It's gonna die. That's bigger than you, Rock. You really hold it up. Rock, get your wife in there to help me pour that motherfucker so you don't fall down. Hey, get Emily.
Can you tag that? Can you tag with that in Japan and with the time of his idols?
It's a new console. It's just for Tia.
Alright, so Chad, are we finished? Did you have another thought? Or? I'm going to jump in here and talk about something else for everyone who do have to finish this shitty train wreck show. Go check out Good Company with Scott Bowling. It's a great show on YouTube. It's all about music. Scott interviews rock musicians and talks to them about their music careers, creative process, playing live, new stuff they're working on, very in-depth, always interesting. Scott's the guy who won the chance to interview me for an episode of Talking Jared years ago. I'm sure you've all listened to it. He talked all about Fozzy, and that's what his Good Company show is as well. He's got great guests, Bill Bowers from Seven Dust, Alicia Taylor from Cherry Bomb. She coaches in Jim's video and in this video. Elias Kyle Sanders and Eddie Trump, my boy. Strikers Michael Sweet, great friend. Of course, Rich Ward, Fozzy, my partner in crime. He's been on Good Company a few times. I know how much you guys listening to Talking Jared also love listening to music, especially rock and roll. So give Good Company a try. Find it on YouTube. Just search for Bowling. Also available on Facebook. Search Good Company for Bowling or go directly to the website at scottgoodcompany.com. It's a great music show. Filmed and edited by Nathan Howard. His crew at Night Club. He's the director and last for Fozzy. He's Judas Third, Run. Adam right?
The Impact Brothers, like there's three different companies just sitting here talking bullshit, and nobody has a problem with it.
This is the future.
It is, man, and it should be that way.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it
Most of our
should be.
companies for a second. But Chris Dodson, this isn't a burial, but how about the fact that you guys are kicking so much ass, you're getting over 1 million viewers on TV, there we go, that the other show is not on the same night? Is that a big Horowitz to the back, or is that a hey, this is awesome and Redmond Snoop's great?
First of all, my new nickname, since it's so my segment was the highest drawing segment all year on any Wednesdays. So now I'm gonna start.
I saw that on Instagram and I love it.
Yeah, hats, t-shirts, bandanas. Stay tuned for the Million Viewer Man podcast.
It's not potato based.
Here's the thing. This is taken from actual sheets from the Bismarck Hampton Inn.
They're doing got a little bit. like shoot real life. Carlos Colon in Puerto Rico has to humor his son, and he's just talking. He's just drunk. And she usually fell into Uncle Jericho's in there too. So humor this. He's probably just sitting in his house going, my son hammered.
The best part was Reptile calls. He goes, was Reptile Gallows?
Oh, I'd be like, well, Terry, we're taking so much of the Gallows, but no one can hear because it's on the actually, I think
Shadow worked with them, and then Gallows took over and called Carlos Colon. So then finally, Primo was rotating fourth. I believe it was that shit show known as Talking Shop in Nuremberg. Just talking about the Anthrax show. And finally, Primo goes, so that, do you want to book him? And Carlos Colon, Julian goes like, yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, does Carlos, because he's in business for so long, this goes, these guys. My son.
I have a great way to do Reptile if you're off the rockers who just came to me. I'm gonna keep it.
Don't you think that if Reptile was a real guy, no mask, he looks like Uncle Rico.
The training day guy?
We should get that out.
So, Big LG, is this a story that we should just tell or leave? We were going to talk about the Nuremberg Anthrax London Convention or should we just leave it or what?
I already forgot it. I'm into Heath Miller's Dixie Vodka. What the million viewer man?
We all got fired since then anyway. So
You didn't get fired, but we got fired, but we're all somehow going to make more money next year anyway. You're making, you must bring out your contract, but you're like an NBA player.
Actually, hold on a second, boys. Hold on. This is a true story. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. When I signed a contract and left Vincenzo's platinum luxury, every brother got a raise, including you guys. So the raise you got was because I signed.
We're the shoot version of whenever we left Region 10. We got small raises there. When you left, we all got big raises.
Alright, you guys know how much we love Arm & Hammer cat litter at my house with 3 cats roaming around, Snickers, Mr. Mittens, and Edie. We need to make sure we've got the best cat litter so that our house smells like a home. We're not like, well, you know what I'm saying. And that's why we started using Arm & Hammer's new Absorb X with Desert Dry Minerals litter. Wetness disappears like a raindrop on a hot tin roof. That's right. A new Absorb X with Desert Dry Minerals is lightweight, lightning fast, odor absorbing, desert dry cat litter. Use this stuff and say adios to odor. Our cats, once again, Snickers, Amy, and Mr. Mittens or Mr. Mill, seem to love it too. And right now you can get $4 off at armandhammer.com/bounty. It's armandhammer.com/bounty. Do yourself and your cat's a favor. Try new Absorb X from Arm & Hammer. More power to you.
Holy
The baby.
Hey, look at that guy.
The baby is
That guy right there. It's like, hold on. Shh. Gallows, quiet. Listen, is this Cash's podcast debut?
Oh, what a sweet voice.
Wow!
Yeah.
30 years from now, when he's running the business, he's going to go. My very first podcast was on Talking Shop with Chris Jericho over the pandemic.
Boy, he can't hear us. It's okay. He just sees us.
And then crusty old Gallows knocks on the door and goes, "Can I get a raise as a producer?"
Yeah, he'll be running Talking Shop for me.
Say bye.
And he's going to go, yeah, we go check your raise, but he's still
Well, you're only here because my dad kind of likes you anyway, so get out of my office.
I'm calling right now, Talking Shop Mania, part 13 or 15. That's Brush Boy versus Cashy, with Daniels and Shadow on poles.
I want to see Gallows on a pole like a pig that's getting cooked.
You want to spit roast me? everything bad he'd ever done came back into his mind. He'd been this docile, sweet man, like living in Hawaii, and then he just went back. Like, I don't know what he did when we left and went back to the hotel, but I feel like whatever it was, Ben Trumbull was significant.
Yeah, like he literally, like, just like he was talking about and light switch happened, and just it was 1982 all over again.
I'm gonna drink everything.
I remember being hung over on that boat and just going like, oh, I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna
Yeah.
Did you?
I'm gonna get some.
I mean, it's like, so when's
There was
the
catamarans. It was
when's
kind
the
of back
boat
and
gonna
forth.
stop going farther?
So do we stop
Turns
and
around
drink here?
Yeah, and he just turns around and goes back. And it's like, that was it? Uh-oh. Now I gotta wrestle? Oh. I gotta wrestle.
Hey man, it was free. It was free.
It was free for us.
There wasn't much more I could think of.
It was
Guaranteed than that.
So then you.
Oh yeah, that's true. He didn't give me anything for free. See, yeah, we toured Japan 7 times. With
$500 an hour, pal.
I do remember that when we showed up in Hawaii, because we had kind of well, I kind of knew Big LG back from his previous life. I just met Shadow. I remember we did a
That was like a very preliminary, like you
there.
had to talk. You just talked to some guys.
Yeah, it's like,
How do you like the rest?
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
It was still pretty good though.
Oh, what are you doing over there? So we go to Hawaii, and we're like, we meet up, whatever, you know, piece of shit, you know, we meet each other like magnets. And like, we're gonna go to the hotel bar, and we'll drink for a bit, and then we're gonna walk down the strip in Honolulu. It's a great strip, lots of great stuff. We're gonna surf.
So many activities.
We're gonna parachute, whatever. We sit down at like 1, and like at 9,
At 9, Johnny Ace is placed down beside the pool.
Johnny Ace is out. Everyone's out. Woods is off his rocker.
Toothless Stone Cold, what do you think of that?
They're like, just about
Well,
the
what happened
What do you think of
was
that?
Johnny Ace had too many cocktails and he can't handle his salt apparently, so he had to go and take himself a mid-afternoon face-down nap on the concrete beside the in-ground swimming pool built by the resident in the Honolulu beachfront.
Oh, Gordy Canuck, what are you doing here? Gordy Canuck?
Hey, guys, remember that time we went to in Honolulu? We got so drunk we had to buy a bottle of Malibu from Wow. And then the security guards came home and we jumped out the roof that day. Yeah, this is Gordy Canuck.
Which coffee shop? This is when I think we were in real trouble. Coffee shop, talking Jericho. We do the podcast, then we go downstairs where the boys are hanging out. And I'm not going to say names, but some real heavy hitters are having some real heavy drinks that you don't usually see out. And I remember we walked in and I was like, I don't think two hammered need to stand in this room right now. There's like guys wrestling in the corner, guys like swilling whiskey out of the bottle, and I'm like, I know I'm physically blacking out while standing here, and I don't know where this is going to end up. And we just walked into the bar.
That was me and Joe Henning getting into a fist fight.
Just because.
Now we can tell. We love Joe Henning, and now we can tell the story. I remember maybe the next day. I think he said to Chad he was all still mad. He goes, Chad goes, what did he say? He's gonna give some revelation that Chris really. What did he say?
Cena was there, he slipped and fell down, everyone was fighting, chemical fighting everywhere. I woke up on the floor of my room. I woke up on the floor of my room with Fit Finley kicking me, get up, and as I'm doing that, Spider, the referee's packing all my gear out, because I'm just on the floor. And we didn't take down all of our microphones and stuff, so we had mic wires and stuff hanging everywhere. And Johnny Ace said, "You think I screwed karaoke last night?"
And I went, no.
Is that what he asked?
Yeah, because that's what we do in our rooms, Johnny.
What?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's do a karaoke.
I love karaoke. So Fit packs all my bags, and Spider packs my bags. Fit's making me up. Joe Henning left his passport at the airport, so he has to go back. We land in Detroit, and we got to go from Detroit to freaking Baltimore.
Fuck this.
I was like, I can't do it. I can't take another flight. So as we all grab our bags and walk out of Detroit, you're supposed to go to the right to catch your connection. I walk to the left, and I hear it. Chris, come this way. Come over here, you guys. Come over here. I'm like, I get into a taxi. I'm like, take me to the nicest. Take me to the nicest hotel now. Kathy from WWE, buy me a first class ticket from Detroit. Tomorrow.
That's what you know you're for it. That's, man, I love it.
Fucking awesome.
And look at Chad's clothes. He's got some nice.
That's one of
I
the
like that
finest
yellow
items.
shirt on the side.
We had that one on display because it's expensive.
He's very proud of that little shirt.
Rock, you know about the Chris Jericho Japanese tour book? Chris Jericho Japanese tour book is this.
No.
We're going to Japan with Jericho now. Like we're bodied up with cows. So we get there, and you got to remember, like, you know, we think we're pretty good as shit. But fucking Bullet Club, we got all our sponsors, we got all our shit together. Chris has been a man in Japan way longer, and he was there in a different time. Like, we thought we were wild in Japan. We get there, and we go out with one of our guys, and we're having a good time at a bar, and everyone's having fun, having drinks. And Chris is like, we need more drinks, we should go faster, we need this, we need that. And all of a sudden he decides to start beating up our sponsors. and tell him, he's like,
Was that fat
you know what,
bastard
fuck
or
this
the
guy,
guy's
I'll
name
pay
is?
for everything. Kim, this, and we're
Yeah, I was so mad that Shadow just wanted to be nice to his sponsors. Like, I'm trying to figure out shot and be
how do I
nice to
say
some
to my
sponsor.
friend Chris Jericho, who's been here forever, like, we don't meet up the sponsors anymore while Chris is smacking them. Like,
Hold on for 1 second. Chad, you remember when I saw you on the street when I was trying to get a hold of you and I saw you on the street in Tokyo? You said where you're going to go. I was like, oh, sure. Now you're here. And you're like, what did I do wrong? You're like, I was such a jerk.
listen, but what I'm so out of this, like, we break off, we come back together, we're doing all these things throughout the night, whatever, and then, you know, like, Jericho went one way, we went the other late. We go back to the hotel, we're headed to Sumo Arena the next day, and we're all laughing all crazy night last night, and Finley, who we all love and who is no stranger to a good time as well, walks in with a book, like a book, like as thick as a tour book. I'm using my hands right now, but you can't see them.
Yes.
But it's I don't know, 30 pages, and he walks up, and we're thinking like, what is this? Something about the tour, whatever. He goes, hey Chris, you're gonna have to pay for some damages last night. And it's like an old photo book, like we had when we were kids, of like family reunions, and it's like 10 to 15 pages, but it's like all different things broken through the hotel, where like once Drunken Co came out, he was like, I'm gonna bash the light, I'm gonna throw the bass, I'm gonna do the thing. Wow, what a real rock star. Like, he gets delivered a book and then the bills of the last
rock star.
Well, I assume he's a rock star when he's yeah, he is, yeah, it's amazing.
That's fucking dope.
I lost my mind, and that's the night that I say you guys, because we had a great text group for a short period of time, which was Gallows, Anderson, Jericho, Samoa Joe, and Roman, Big Goose. And it was one of my favorites, and then we realized, we can't drive
family life.
He's got a big.
Particularly on a dirty road.
Right.
I remember we came back to the whatever hotel we're in Tokyo. It was not the Tokyo Dome Hotel. I can't remember what it was. And I was just like off my rocker. That was the night I think Punky somewhere, and I was trying to grab this vase. I don't know how you pronounce it. I was trying to grab off the line. It was stuck to the wall, so I pulled the vase as hard as I could, and it came off. And so did the desk. So the whole desk and vase came down and created this big smash thing. And then me and we ran away, and then I just filmed this video of me just rolling down the hall.
Then I remember you were.
Yes, it was me. Remember I filmed that video of us just rolling around. Roman goes, damn it, Y2, brother, get your shit together.
Yeah.
So the next day I'm like, no one's gonna ever find this. Like, you know, whatever. I smash some shit. I go to bed. Whatever. Like Big LG just said, Fit calls me in. He goes, how much is the people? And like, there's this photo book, picture by picture,
Moment
taken
by
from a
moment.
security camera. I can find it for another day. Smash. And I'm like, I'm busted. And of course, this is Japan. You can't get away with this shit here.
Do you remember unscrewing the light bulbs for some reason? Is that why my hands hurt?
No, that was a different country, bro.
Hey, listen, it's my story. I'm
My
sticking to it.
fingers are burned.
Cross your country,
Yeah, you're getting across. Let me.
Yeah, let's let Chris talk.
Let me finish.
Shop is dangerous.
So anyway, so I go sit down, and now it's the manager of the hotel. It's like going to the principal's office. The manager wants to see you. Like I know I'm guilty. Listen, I've been to Japan 50 times. Then it's 60 now. I know how they are.
Lecture.
I don't need the lecture. I'm a crazy gaijin. I'm a crazy foreigner. I'll pay for it. And I'm thinking, what am I gonna make for this tour? Like probably, I don't know, $5,000. I'm like, what if maybe I'd say let's say $7,500 for whatever it was. So the guy comes, he gives me the bill for 50,000 yen, and I'm like,
That was
well,
the house.
that's $5,000. So that leaves this tour's on the house. And then I realized, like, hold on a second. $100 for all that? $500.
Going out again tonight.
And I started laughing. I'm like, oh, really? And whoever the brother was, he was the WWE representative, and I started laughing. And it's like, what's the problem? It's only $500.
He had no TV.
No. And then Wells is very like, and he's apologizing, suit and tie, little guy from Chicago. He's like, we should dodge a bullet now. I'm like, there's only $500. He goes, don't you dare! So that was the night that I ended up in the Tokyo Drake graveyard running from the cops when I bought Jamoa, the strip club in Great Roppongi. That one booted the mirror off the car. I'll tell you what, that was my all-time favorite tour of Japan. Such good times.
Everybody.
Holy shit.
We should probably start winding down here. Like, this is great stuff. I think Shadow's, his son came back again, which I think is probably Recon, maybe from...
Dude, Chris, can I tell one story that I forgot to
Please do.
tell on the podcast when me and you did it?
We had a great podcast, and the headline, Gallows, was, did Rocky Romero create Talking Shop? With that, we drew 100,000 downloads with this guy, and no one's ever heard of him before.
Exactly. So, dude, the first time I ever met you, Chris, I was like Mark 15 or something like that, right? You'll never remember this.
Like right now.
It was just a little Mark, and my mom got. This changed. And my mom got me tickets to Monday Night Nitro, like after a pay-per-view or something. I want to say it's like October because it was around my birthday.
In Anaheim or in LA or where?
No, in Vegas.
Okay.
In Jim Gray.
Oh, yeah.
So my.
I just wondered. I didn't know what they were doing.
Mom, dude. This is why I can't read my ads. This is why I can't read my ads live on the air.
Did you get you a blow bag? You know, let me be in my show.
This is what I deal with all the time. This is why every.
That's because we don't have the right sponsors yet.
Legit.
That's right, exactly.
Anyway, so
We're just wrapping up, Shadow, because we know you got stuff going on. That's okay. We're wrapping up. Robbie's telling a story, and Gallus keeps interrupting me lasciviously.
of course. So my mom gives us tickets to tonight, and it's a birthday present to me. So
Nice.
we're staying at like Excalibur or something like that. You guys were staying at MGM, of course, because that's where the show was.
Of course, brother.
And my cousin and I were like 15 or something. And the only thing you could do in Vegas is like go to arcades, right? So we go over to New York, which happens to matter.
Not really.
Yeah. So we go over to New York, and we're like playing the arcade games and stuff like that. And you walk in, you and Eddie were walking, and I like lose my shit. I'm like, we're gonna have a show in like about an hour. Like we're just
Before the show?
This is before the show.
Holy shit. Reloaded?
So we're at the arcade. We see you guys like walking. You guys were like casually playing the game. I think you were more casually playing games. And then and I see you from afar, and I'm like, oh shit, there's Jericho. This is so cool. I gotta go talk to him. So I go up to you and I go, hey Chris, do you mind if I get an autograph? And you're like, sure, bud. And
Sure, asshole.
I give her an autograph.
Probably called you Bud.
Stuff like that. Sure.
I thought he was 4.
We're super guys.
I had a little toddler
Eddie.
in the arcade.
Eddie.
Reach out and play the games. Little Pac-Man. You can't get it.
He goes, no, he was tired. Kind of walks off. And I'm just like, yeah, he was tired.
Probably, yeah.
And I think he had just turned heel.
That's what. Yeah, that's old school Eddie.
Time.
Don't sign on grass, right?
And then I was like, oh, but like, I was like, oh, man, damn, this sucks. And then you turn to me and you go, give me like 5 minutes, go back up to him. Can I let you give me a Nice. That's what you said. So you guys start playing games and stuff.
I didn't know
like
you
that.
was a little Mark, but I love it.
Trying to figure out.
He still is.
I wasn't, but to be honest with you, they were the first wrestlers I ever met.
That's a big deal.
In person. I never like seen anybody before. So it was a mega big deal. And I was big fans of the team.
He was a big fan
So like, I literally waited 5 minutes. I kept asking. There was no clock. There's no clock to me. So I had to ask the person that was like working there. It's like, what time is it? And she's like, it's 3:30. And I was like, can you let me know it's 3:35? So like I walk over and I go, and you guys are playing. And you see me and you're kind of like giving like the piggy. And then
were you crawling or
I don't know if you thought it was funny or what. So then I go to Eddie.
That makes a lot more sense.
I was crawling, of course. I go, G.I. Joe. And then I go, Mr. Guerrero, I'm a huge fan. Can you do me an autograph? He's like, fine. And he's like, give me an autograph. Gives me. I was like so pumped. And you guys, and you said, all right, man, hey, great to see you guys. I was like, we're going to the show. You're like, cool, man, we'll see you guys there. And then you guys went off. And then we realized that like wrestlers
Then you get a
are
full
like
creeps.
rowdy. So then we went over to MGM, and we found super creepy.
Oh,
and we
shit.
found like Scott Norton, Ric Flair,
Raging Chaos,
Rocky,
brother, high voltage.
Chaos, whatever they were.
High voltage. Our attitude
voltage.
determines our altitude.
High dosage, they should have been called it.
Hey, no, Dad.
Stone, hey, Toothless Stone Cold, give it to us. Ladies and gentlemen, coming down to my fucking hole. Robbie Ray, Toothless Stone Cold might be our new ring announcer. We can say the 400.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit.
I think Stone just lost his job, bro.
Exactly. Robbie, you better not show up. I'm paying $2,000 not to show up. Toothless Stone Cold out.
If we get Clint Bobsky, we're going to be one of the talent on the show. It's going to be us talking to Clint Bobsky. We can't afford anyone else. Don't feel out off. Yeah, it's way over.
This is the best. It's so great to do this again, man. Since Nuremberg to now, with all these other great experiences, rotating fourth Rocky, probably at this point should just be the fourth member because no one else is going to want to be involved in this shit because everyone's terrified these days. Honestly, all shit aside, great to reconnect with you guys. You guys are my brothers. It's been a couple months now, so
it feels
try
good.
each other's shows and shit. But I think it does. It really does, man. Because there's no reason for it. Whatever, it gives us fun. That was done. We're cool. We're good. Here's the next thing. Gallows just said we need to find.
I don't want to go somewhere with like a nice beach. Let's go to a miserable town where we're forced to hang out. Let's find a North Dakota. Let's go to like Bismarck again and just go find stop signs.
Listen, brothers, hold on. I love you guys, but I'm not willing to take a connection.
I don't know why I'm
Actually, I agree with that. I want to go somewhere I don't have to connect.
I was almost gonna invite you guys over today, Chad, because we had an NFL party. But I'm like, if we get too drunk together with our wives, we might not be able to do this. But we've been reaching out to each other to actually see each other.
Chris family not really trying to get me to drive to Tampa for the weekend. We're ending the podcast on this story. This is how big a piece of shit I am. This is one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. Was Chris said it took me 28 years to find this big of a piece of shit to me, and I did it to Gallows. And last week I had two of my friends come down to hang out by the city of Sylvester, Georgia, bought Sylvester Slam. So I said, hey, Doc, I said, hey, come on and hang out. You have to wrestle. And I'm wrestling. Well, this much money. No, listen. And that's what we're going to do. So I
Knox? Yeah, I was in an elimination chamber match with Knox in the main event, man.
Hold on, he said he doesn't wrestle before. He's got nothing to look. I'm asking Gallo.
So he's asking you to look.
I drank a whole bottle of this. I can tell. Wait, yes, he did breast.
I'm so confused.
Where else?
I didn't ask that.
But what did you ask? What was your question?
Chris, let's wrap this up, brother.
8x10s are $20, Chad.
I need
Okay, we're wrapping up right now. Hold on a second. Someone here's gonna wrap up in honor of the 700th episode. How great it is that 700 episodes. I just want to say, fuck. Hold on, guys. Howard Finkel. God bless you. Fink is coming from heaven to congratulate me.
If it wasn't for some of my all-time favorite wrestling superstars, on behalf of Azucargo, Rocky Romero, everyone's favorite, the Machine Man, Carl Anderson, the small work rate half of the tag team, the Big LG God Gallows, one of the most creative, most offensive men to ever live, and the Ayatollah of piss-soaked rock and roll, the million-viewer member, Chris Jericho. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Talking Shop, presented by the 700th episode of Talk is Jericho. I'm going to rest you.
Talk is Jericho, baby. Talk is Jericho. Barstown, talk is Jericho. Talking Shop.
A lot when it comes to dealing with youth crime, and they're looking at doing things differently in Queensland, and that work, it's certainly worth talking about. James has gone through. James, you're a police officer for New South Wales Police, correct?
That's correct.
And you deal with youth crime, do you?
Yes, I work with license.
Have you Jericho is the pod of thunder and rock and roll. Let's turn the microphone over to Duff McKagan for the joke of the week.
Chris Jericho, Duff McKagan calling you. Listen, man, our dog got out last night. So I went to the park and looked for 20 minutes. Couldn't find it. I came home and my wife said, you didn't look hard enough. So I shaved my head, got some tattoos. Still couldn't find the dog. Okay, thanks.
I think I might have heard that one before, or something similar, but it's okay. Duff's been doing this for 3 years. If he has a couple repeats, I don't mind. Thanks to Duff for calling every single week. It wouldn't be a Friday here on Talking Jericho. A joke of the week, that's for sure. It wouldn't be a Thursday if it wasn't for the Winnipeggers. Come laugh with me, Dave Spivak and Rival every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel and Facebook page. This week it's all about high school yearbook write-ups. You guys have certain states where you give your most embarrassing moment, most cherished moment, your fades, your goals. It's actually pretty funny. So come join the beggars and see pictures of us when we were in high school. Now on Facebook and YouTube. And no Saturday special this weekend. There's lots of things going on. Now that the kids are back in school, there's a lot more activities on a Saturday night. So don't fret. We're still going to do the Saturday special whenever I can. But this weekend there will not be one. People always yell at me when there is a Saturday special. Why did you say anything? I'm saying something right now. So no SNS, but I'll let you know what the next one is. What I can do is continue to release Talk is Jericho every Wednesday and Friday, like clockwork. And returning to the show this week, my longtime friend and Talk is Jericho alumni, Eli Roth. This is probably his, 5th or 6th appearance of the show. But this time we're welcoming another great American filmmaker, Mark Borchardt. He's the man who created the horror short film classic Coven, also the subject of the 1999 film American Movie, which documented the 3 years that Mark spent writing, shooting, and editing Coven. There's a Coven. It's a big movie. He's working on a sequel to that film. He's working on a bunch of other stuff as well. He's a very creative, quirky guy, as is Eli, as is myself. So he and Eli talk about their creative process. We all talk about some of our favorite movies and directors. It's a great discussion about the art of filmmaking right here on Talk is Jericho. Alright, you guys know how much we love Arm & Hammer cat litter at my house with 3 cats roaming around, Snickers, Mr. Mittens, and Indy. We got the best cat litter so that our house smells at home. We don't like, you know what I'm saying. And that's why we started using Arm & Hammer's new Absorb X Desert Dry Minerals litter. It just disappears like a raindrop on a hot tin roof. That's right. A new Absorb X with Desert Dry Minerals is lightweight, lightning fast, odor absorbing, dry cat litter. Use this stuff and say adios to odor. Our cats, once again, Snickers, Amy, and Mr. Mittens or Mr. Mid, seem to love it too. And right now you can get $4 off at armandhammer.com/bounty. That's armandhammer.com/bounty. Do yourself and your cats a favor. Try new Absorb X from Arm & Hammer. More power to you. So the cool thing about kind of everyone being under stay-at-home orders is that there's a lot of chance to talk to some old friends, make some new ones. So Eli Roth has been on Talk Shit for many times before. But we also have a mutual appreciation for filmmaker and film expert Mark Borchardt. So this is actually the first time, besides the brief conversation that you and I walked in today, that the three of us are meeting each other.
Yes, and there's no expertise, you just know what you know about it.
And, you know, Mark, actually, I don't know if you remember, we spoke when I was making Cabin Fever back in, obviously, October 2001 or September. I actually tracked you down and asked you to play a part in the movie, and you were so sweet about it. You were like, oh, I can't, because I just did one jet lead of a bus joint to SAG, and it was going to complicate production issues on Northwestern, so you were unable to do it, but you were very, very nice about it, and I wanted to tell West that, and you What's the, do you have any favorite picks for what you've been watching this morning?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to recommend really anything anyone because I'm a cold. I'm going to pick something else and go for kind of like echelon, from the primitive to the academic person. So, but anyway, I think these schools, this is the average stuff that they try to count. Very good, actually, on the Mexican American film. Now, like the school section, go back to the time, something you haven't seen that. Our film, this again is in the realm of depending on like that conference movie that we went to. When you say public school, it's kind of like in the middle of that big 60s, early 70s era, like a William Reeves' psychopath class.
That was the movie, yeah. You mentioned that movie, and I hadn't seen that. I heard you talking about it on TV stuff, and that sounded really good. It's just like a whole other kind of trope of movies. First, De Palma, I'm probably, one of my favorite, not my favorite, but as far as De Palma movie, I think I'm on to that. There's an Arrow put out a great remastered Blu-ray of A Wedding Greetings of Paimon, but it does have that same, especially the Be Black Baby stuff, there's the same charge. It's like Honey Smoke 68, also Bogdanovich's Targets. I watched it recently, I was putting that in that, political movie with a thriller buried inside of it, as Frank says. There's such an interesting period of those, kind of those new filmmakers with Seconds and Targets and Paimon and Honey Smoke.
And David Holtz's Diary as well. Have you seen that? That's what you see. Yeah, David Holtz's Diary is actually of the premier evidences of that era.
Awesome. And so
David Holtz's Diary.
Psychoplasmic.
Oh, man, it's your psychoplasmic case.
Take one, man.
What you could do is you could break it into 4 component parts. Symbio, psychoplasm.
And I want everybody to learn how to spell that, but we'll do a quiz later.
That's it. But I love it. But that's the great thing about cinema is that you think you've just seen everything, but that there's some masterpiece that's out there that's waiting to be discovered. I've been kind of people. Did you ever see? I've been sort of watching a lot of the early French, kind of 80s French New Wave. Like, did you ever see Diva, the Jean-Jacques Vignier film from 1920?
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen that several times, and I think I actually got to see it up on the big screen at least once. But Diva I've seen several times.
Yeah, I love Diva. Diva to me feels like the start of modern cinema, like the Tarantino, Luc Besson, even David Lynch, so many, Tony Scott, so many filmmakers. And also the 90s stuff, Delicatessen, I've been watching that lately. George C. Scott and Hardcore. I rewatched Schrader. And then I went from Hardcore, after I watched Targets, I went into Star 80, which I'd seen as a kid. I haven't been there. Yeah. But have you seen that? It's an amazing performance of Eric Roberts. It's really incredible.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. So one of the first movies I ever rented on VHS because
Warner VHS, I remember.
Mariel Hemingway, there was promise of seeing some bare breasts, which when you were 13 years old, that was all you cared about back then, was trying to rent movies where you could see some tits.
Exactly. Well, I rewatched it. It was really, there's a documentary by Peter Bogdanovich called One Day Since Yesterday, all about that whole situation where he made They All Laughed with Colin Camp and Audrey Hepburn and Meg Zard. He made it with Dorothy Stratton, and then, her husband killed her with a shotgun, and he had to edit the movie, and he kind of lost his mind, and so I watched the documentary is really, really terrific. But then I rewatched Star 80 after I hadn't seen it, and it's one of the, Eric Roberts, you realize just how great he was. It's really a really interesting movie.
Let me ask you guys a question. I mean, both you guys are such deep, very knowledgeable on movies, and I have certain areas that I'm into. I know my horror knowledge and that sort of thing. What was it that got you guys so into the movies? Can you remember being kids? Like, what was your first few movies that you saw that really made you think about the direction and the cinematography and that sort of thing?
Well, in Gouldsville.
That's right. Exactly.
I remember vividly, it's weird, I have these benchmark memories. Like, I remember being terrified and fascinated by the flying monkeys in Wizard of Oz when I was 3. I remember going to see Star Wars when I was 6, just thinking that was a real planet that existed. Like, I didn't, that was the movie. I'd never been so excited about anything, let alone movies. And then when I was 8, I went to see Alien, and that was the first time I was conscious of what a director was. And I remember asking my dad, like, what does the producer do? I think I want to be a producer. He said, Eli, the producer finds the money. And then I said, what does the director do? He said, well, the director spends the money. I was like, I think I want to be a director. And then I remember seeing the credits for, like, I was like 11, like 2001 in Clockwork Orange, and it said produced and directed by Stanley Kubrick. And, like, at your bar mitzvah, when you're 12 or 13, you have to tell the rabbi what you're going to do with your life. But weirdly I did. And I said, I want to be a producer-director. He said, well, do you want to be a producer or a director? I said, both. Because that's the only way to retain control of your cut. I was like, and it looked to me like I was like an alien. I mean, this is, the mid-'80s, but I really had this awareness of, oh yeah, you could, and I think it was Evil Dead was the movie that made it accessible for me. Reading Fangoria, when that issue came out, and I was like 12 or 13, it said that Sam Raimi was 20 or 21 when he made the movie. I thought, oh my god, that's not so far away. You could be 21 and make a movie, and if you wind up in Fangoria, like that could actually happen. You could be in a video store. That concept, when I was 13 or 14, really kind of gelled in my brain. That's the path I have to take.
What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I was just studying books, and I was looking at very dramatic black and white films, and it was very fascinating. So I got into film just through reading, looking at the dramatic imagery of all of these films, like Bergman and so on and so forth. So I just but I finally got a Super 8 camera that I could pictures that it's extremely important, that the compositions were symmetrically aligned, and that the editing was down in the frame. And that's how I got to, again, more to an academic avenue in a sense. But yeah, so I wasn't like in front of the TV, I wasn't doing this or doing that, it was more interior. And it was also kind of like symbiotically aligned with the outside world, looking at the trees, looking at the homes and all that stuff, and finding aesthetic inspiration in that.
Mark, do you remember shooting stuff on Super 8 and then you'd have to like mail it or drop it a lab and come back 2 weeks later, and that was like the most nerve-wracking time praying your stuff to focus? Do you remember that?
Well, first I remember I bought the film at Kmart, the film off at Kmart. And I understand what Eli's talking about, and there's sad, they're completely messed up with so on and so forth. Fortunately, I never ever raised a 60mm had that. I was very fortunate that that didn't happen, and it was always so magical to put that film with the projector and see something that you had filmed come to life. It was truly magical.
Makes me remember the very first movie I can ever remember seeing. I'll tell you guys what that was. First one I'll tell you was something I discovered that's making it so easy to recover from a night of cocktails with the Winnipeggers or a morning after the Saturday night special. I grab Goody's Hangover, mix it with a glass of water, drink it down, and get on with my day. Goody's tastes good as well. It's not like you have to force it down. I know you guys have been there, the night out and then the brutal morning after, but it doesn't have to be that way. If you're smart enough, you get yourself Goody's Hangover. It's a pain relief that will take care of the killer headache and the body aches that always seem to come with a hangover. Plus, it'll help restore your mental alertness. You can say goodbye to fatigue, drowsiness, and fogginess that the hangovers usually cause. And like I said, Goody's Hangover tastes great as well. It comes in a berry citrus boost flavor. You can toss it back as is, or you can mix it with water. Just don't let that hangover slow you down ever again. Get Goody's Hangover and let its formula stop pain fast and provide that boost of alertness you need. So now you can have that fun night without worrying about how you feel the next morning. Get yourself some Goody's Hangover at Amazon or Walmart. Goody's Hangover, real medicine for real hangovers. Fast relief with a boost of alertness. The very first movie I can remember seeing was a movie by Stanley Donen called The Little Prince. You guys know this movie? It's starring Gene Wilder, and dude, it's one of the weirdest movies ever. I watched it back a few years ago, and it's very French kind of avant-garde about a kid in the desert who disappears, and Gene Wilder plays a
a certain time, and like it's weird. It's the way you talk, the way you dress. They had that power. I mean, Mark, do you find inspiration in anything today, or do you find yourself kind of going back to the classics, or do you go to literature?
Okay, all good. We'll do all answers. First of all, I want to verify that Kmart was on 76 at Good Hope on the northwest side of Milwaukee. So those listening in Milwaukee will be saying, damn, cool. Now, as inspiration, I read over 100 books at a time. I've got thousands of books. I calculated that if we have to be inside the crib, I could do 300 years. I got enough material. I sat and did the calculation. So in reading, of course, it's the greatest set of inspiration. Films in the here and now, of course. I mean, I could go on and on. Greta Gerwig's work, Noah Baumbach's work. I mean, just et cetera. I mean, and that's like bypassing Philip Cavell, bypassing all the people that I can't even think about right now that are just having all of these wonderful contemporary authors. Phil's been around publicly since the mid-1890s. That's over 120 years of treasure. So, yeah, I dig contemporary film. Definitely when it's kind of a lot of those films, sophisticated films with its adherence to symmetrical images, very clean, airy lines and stuff like that. Definitely. And there's inspiration all over. But it's not a matter of consumerism. Again, it's an act of symbiosis. It's an act of nourishing oneself, whether from other aesthetic forms or life itself or your own interior manifestation. It all comes together, man, and you keep rolling.
Mark, are you a fan of the film Killer of Sheep by Charles Burnett?
First of all, I had the opportunity to see that on the big screen at 16. Late 70s watch. I was born up with that. I went to the university and we had years of experimental film crammed down our throat. I'm not talking about Burnett's offering. I'm talking about all of the package there.
Package Maya Dairy.
Yeah, all on 16 millimeter, just non-stop year after year.
It's something. I remember when in film school, you're like, you grow up with Star Wars and the 80s movies, and then they show you Meshes in the Afternoon and Shed on the Loo. And just at the time, a lot of that stuff was unreleased, and you're only watching it in a theater and lots of lines. And you just come out of these things and your whole framework, it's like your whole compass has been reset.
Yeah, it's just, in all those three films that you mentioned, in the last one by John McCall, that's the only feature they made, and in some circles, they know the greatest film ever made, just pure mythology. That, when you mention that film, that's what it reminds me of. It's just one feature, and it's a great film. But anyway,
Eli, when you go to film school, what exactly do you do at film school? What are they teaching you?
Well, I mean, when I was there, freshman year was Super 8. I mean, that has obviously changed now. But they told us that you get your hands on the cameras the first year. So like half the year it's film and photography for year one. Then you start getting into 16 millimeter year 2. So you were kind of making your mistakes on photography and Super 8, learning about composition. Some of it's theory. Your English class becomes screenwriting. You have to take like different, there's like the general introduction film classes where they're showing you roles at the game, the window, and really teaching you about auteur theory and sort of critical film analysis. Then as you get older, you can specialize. Like some kids are cinematography nerds. They want to go deep into the camera classes. Whereas someone told me that they're like Martin Brest and Scorsese's acting teacher. She was this incredible teacher. And they said, you can't be taking her class. I'm like, Kenna Kimbo. She was about 70 years old, but she was like a teenager. And it was like, it changed everything. Like, my whole point of view of how to direct from an actor's perspective. You act in your movies, so it's a completely different skill set from going where you're kind of technically framing the camera in a shot and like giving a performance. So by the time you graduate, you sort of find what you like. But it's 4 years. You just, I loved it. Some people think it's a waste of money, but I think I was very I'm an immature person in my 40s now, so as a teenager, I needed to grow up, and it was a good place for me to kind of safely make mistakes. That's what I'll say about it.
Yeah, and for someone to say that it's a waste of money, it's crazy to tell. I went to the University of Milwaukee, and that film program began in the mid-'70s. And those guys, they knew the experimental filmmakers in that. And I'm autodidactic, so I'm not going to say that, I learned stuff obviously in film school. I paid attention to the point where one of the professors, when he booked off to work to LA, turned to me and said, you want to teach this class? And I said, yeah, hell yeah, I'll get paid to do this. And, showing the equipment, this, that, the other thing, because I was down with it, I was into it. And those teachers and professors were very attenuated to the world of film and aware of the transactional, or that, hey, you're responsible for doing all of this stuff. I'm going to keep an eye on you and all of that. And, some of us just thrive with it. But I'm not going to say, like, I learned it in school. No, I learned it on my own, and it was complemented by the academic world. But then at the same time, I was doing all my own stuff too, doing my own writing, script, storyboards, whatever had to be done. So it was just like there was a parallel universe going in film school, what they were doing and what you were doing. So yeah, it was just it was a good atmosphere for sure.
And Chris, what Mark said, what I did, film school was half the equation. I was interning, I was working on movie sets, I was writing my own scripts, but by the time I graduated, I had a job, so I was running a producer's office. I was on the set, I worked on a show as the producer, this movie Naked in New York. Like, I graduated school with movie credits, and I would work on them for free just to get experience. So, I think that a lot of people kind of live in the film school bubble, but the only way to really, learn, you've got to get out there and do your own thing. And I think that you've really had such an interesting career and kind of kept it so personal. Was there a moment where you felt a pull, like, I want to go and do kind of Los Angeles or New York and do sort of more different types of, kind of more Hollywood, quote unquote, movies? Or were you always just like, I love what I'm doing, I want to keep expressing myself and just keep pushing my creativity? I'm just curious why you sort of chose the path where you were.
Oh, first of all, it's because of who I am. First of all, I've been Los Angeles, New York, back and forth, films, Hollywood, action, directing, whatever. So it's not like abstract to me. It's a very empirical thing. It's hands-on. I've done it, and it has nothing to do with my filmmaking. Filmmaking to me is very sensual, intellectual, ambient form of persuasive living and persuasive work, which has nothing to do with making films in that other world whatsoever. It doesn't register to me to do something like that. I have a responsibility here in Milwaukee, I have a responsibility here in Wisconsin to do my life's work, which has nothing to do with that kind of stuff. My films are these personal tracks of thought and curiosity. So there you have it.
That's interesting, Elena. Now, how does that relate to you? Because you have to walk the fine line as a big budget Hollywood, very successful director, A-list films, etc., etc. How do you do those big money films but still keep them as personal as you possibly can, the way that Mark just described?
It's really interesting what Mark sounds like. Apparently Quentin was on a podcast recently talking about how Martin Scorsese was offered Escape from Devil's Island, and Cassavetes talked him out of it and said, make personal movies. And then Scorsese went and did Mean Streets because Cassavetes was like, you got to do personal films. That was like which I think is, and look, that's I completely, I thought that I was going to do that. I thought Cabin Fever and Hostel, in my mind, they were both movies that were done, it was $1.5 million and then just under $4 million, kind of outside the system with independent financing. You know what? At the time, if I could get these on DVD, they'll make their money back. And that was always the goal, was to make the money back. But, because they were horror films and there was a big audience for it, it led to other things. But I sort of kept off, even Green Inferno or Knock Knock, I sort of wanted to keep making. The first 5 movies I did were sort of weird personal movies that I wrote. They wound up sort of being in more of a mainstream because I could couch them in a genre. They weren't like Sundance dramas, those kinds of things. But then when I did Death Wish, it was sort of me wanting to try doing a studio movie. And same thing with House of the Clock and Its Walls. So the irony is that even though I'm visible because of sort of having been in Inglourious Basterds and done other stuff, in my mind, kind of those first 5 movies, or even Man with the Iron Fist writing, they were very, even though they were straight down the middle genre movies, I was trying to do my personal version of it, so that when I got to do a studio movie like House of the Clock and Its Walls, and I come up with a bunch of weird ideas like vomiting pumpkins or automaton attacks, I can do kind of personal ideas with like a nice budget behind it. I guess that was, but I sort of make personal, I would find, I would make movies, personal movies until I go broke. And then I was like, all right, I need a job, I need a studio so I can make money, so I could then, you just kind of do it until you go run out of money and you do another one.
I want to talk about a director that all three of us really respect, Werner Herzog. But before we do, speaking of making money, I know a lot of you listening right now had to keep running your businesses during the pandemic. You had to stay open. You had to keep it going, just like AEW did. And that makes hiring more important than ever. It's critical that you have the right and best talent to help your business. So good thing that Indeed.com/Jericho is here to help. Indeed.com is the #1 job site in the world because Indeed gets you the best people fast. Unlike other sites, Indeed gives you full control and payment flexibility over your hiring. You only pay for what you need. You can pause your account anytime, and there's no long-term contracts. Plus, Indeed.com/Jericho provides powerful tools to make your search that much easier, like sponsored jobs, which are shown to be 3.5 times more likely to result in a hire. Think about that, 3.5 times more likely. And with 73% of online job seekers visiting Indeed each month, Indeed is going to get you the important hire you need, just like they've done for over 3 million businesses. And right now, Indeed is offering our listeners a free $75 credit to boost your job post, which means more quality candidates will see it fast. Try Indeed with a free $75 credit at Indeed.com/Jericho. Try it out. This is their best offer available anywhere. You can take advantage of it at Indeed.com/Jericho. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid through September 30th. Let's talk about a director that all three of us have some respect for, lots of respect for, Werner Herzog. And I know I've heard you talk about Werner before, Mark, and you as well, Eli. Because that's a director kind of who's always been kind of underneath the wire, so to speak. People who know films know him, but he's never really had the blockbuster, super huge hit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he does his obviously his own personal films. Even Dwarf started small, Strojic, Heart of Glass, Nosferatu. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I don't think there's a matter of having a hit or this or that. He's like an inspiration, doing his thing. His films are wonderful environments of human eccentricity and the wide landscape of possibility. And so I think he lives in his own region, man, and it's just great stuff.
He's amazing. I mean, I remember when I was, and again, it's where film school and having a